You volunteer with these atheist charities. Obviously, that's amazing. But I don't think there is really anywhere, no matter how much good you're doing, anywhere you go if you're openly atheist, I feel like you're always going to have a theistic encounter that is hostile at some point, especially anywhere publicly accessible. So, do you have a story where you can recall a heated or charged experience at one of your volunteer events where you were confronted by a theist, a particularly bizarre, funny, or just heated or angry or any of the above? Maybe I should have sent you this question ahead of time.
Oh, no, you are just fine.
Okay, cool.
Goodness. So there have been some interesting interactions. Usually at the Austin Atheist Help and the Homeless giveaways are usually where we have the most interaction with so many different people from so many different walks of life. And, you know, it ranges from, you know, a lady who was walking through the line who, you know, she's actively grabbing items. Like she has a sack. She's picking up items. So toiletries, feminine hygiene products, etc.
Right.
But as she's going through the line, she was saying to the volunteers on the other side of the table, you know you're going to hell. And, you know, and she's saying this as she's going through the line, picking up stuff. And she would kind of preface it after the fact by saying, oh, well, God, you know, God told me to, you know, give you this message or something like that, as if that made it better than what it was before. But she was still thanking us, but saying you're going to hell, and that God was telling her to deliver this message as she's moving from table to table in line. And it was so bizarre that it's just like, I can't believe this is happening. But it's one of those, I
feel like it's one of those moments where I wish Jesus was real and he could have been at the end of the table to greet her and be like, yeah, you fucked up here. Like, it just
a little bit. It was amazing to see. She was just with a smile on her face the whole time as she's going through, and this is
delighted to call you to repentance when, you atheists without morals who are helping me out right now and asking for nothing in return are going to hell. Oh man, yeah. I remember reading an interview you did with another place that it was a similar story, but it was like a man started yelling it at everyone all at once and then went through the line.
Oh yes, yes. That was the gentleman with a cat. As a matter of fact, he had a cat on his shoulder, and we made sure that he gave him some cat food. As a matter of fact, at the end of the line, because we have dog and cat food for a lot of the furry friends that are out there as well. But yeah, the line was going, and he stood behind the line. So it was him, the people that were getting help walking through the line, and then us. And so he started just yelling and screaming to us about that, you know, this was terrible and this wasn't the way, and that it was amazing to hear. But then after he got done with that whole tirade, and it lasted for several minutes, as people were kind of looking like, what the hell is he doing? Like, what is going on? And then he casually made his way to the back of the line and got in the line and started progressing along the way. And it was, you know, you keep a smile on your face.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
Unless something gets to like a physical altercation where somebody's actually blocking someone's way, something like that, we let people say their piece, because that's not what we're there to do. We're there to give aid, and that is our focus. We've only had a few instances where we've had to, like, okay, you're going to have to leave. Of course, the police station is directly across the street, and so it's usually never been too tough. But probably the most bizarre and funniest instance, I think I've told this story before, but it was just, it was so hilarious to me, honestly. But we were doing our giveaway as usual on a Sunday, and there was this big black truck that kind of rolled up behind the line. And so we're here at the table. We have a line of folks in front of us, and in the street area, here comes this truck just bebopping along, and it stops right in front of us. And so there's a lot of cars moving around. You don't think anything of it. You know, there's plenty of cars. They're moving. People are coming and going, and we're in a big parking lot in the middle of the city of Austin. So, you know, things happen. So you didn't think anything of it, but all of a sudden, all the doors open, like all 4 doors open, and you hear this blaring, what appeared to be like a Christian metal type of music just blaring out of the doors, and people in line along with us as the ones that are hosting the giveaway are like, what the fuck is happening right now? And so people jump out of the vehicle. There's guys with megaphones, like actual megaphones that come out and started basically kind of street preaching, but it was that drive-by preaching where they don't want a conversation. They're not here to have a conversation with anyone. They are here to spread that good word. And
I can't wait to get there and do some volunteering with you. But just know, I'm also going to be bringing my video camera, because everything you're talking about sounds like excellent content.
I mean, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen all the time. There are some few instances that we'll have where somebody will say, "Well, God bless you," but it's less of a thank you, because you hear that some people will say, "Oh, bless you," as a synonym for thank you, and it just falls right off the tongue, and they don't mean anything by it. Versus someone that will go out of their way to say, "Oh, well, God bless you,"
right?
Something like that. That will really emphasize it, and at that point, it just kind of becomes condescending, or I'll pray for you. We get some of that, but
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. This most recent giveaway, there were a lot of people that they were genuinely happy. They know my car, they know my face by now. So when I arrived there early and I get out, there were already people coming up to me saying like, "Oh, where are you going to start the line this time?" So I point them down to the area where it's going to be, because they already know what's going to be forthcoming on that side. Sure. And they know we're atheists. We have shirts, we have signs, but we're never the ones actually proselytizing or trying to convert anyone out there. We're just giving as much aid as we can within our means, because we run off of donations, and that's just how it goes. And so a lot of people, even though they are religious, like for a fact, they will still say, "Thank you so much for coming out here, and we appreciate you." And there was one guy that made me like start welling up a little bit this last time, and I meant to mention it on TAE when I was on there, but there was a gentleman, he didn't even go through the line, but I recognized his face as being down there, and he came up to me after the giveaway was over. We were putting everything up, and he said, "Thank you so much for what you do." And I was saying, I appreciate that. We try our best to do what we can out here. And then like he grabbed my forearm, and he looked almost like he was about to cry, which I think kind of spurred me off a little bit. But he was like, "No, you don't try, you do." And he let my arm go and kind of walked off, and I was just like I don't know. It was just like the look that he had in his eyes, like just the way that he looked. He didn't go through the line at all. He just came up to say that and then walked back off to go sit by one of the pillars or whatnot. And I thought, it was, I don't know, it really made me reflect for 2 seconds. We were out there. It was 25 of us volunteers out there. We had served over 250 people, the largest we had ever done. And, it made me reflect on what had been built out there, how much this has grown from when I had gotten started and took over. It was just 3 people out there with a single table, and to grow so much and to have that much of an impact to where he would come up and say that, like, it made me feel some kind of way inside. I kept it together, even though I shed a tear or two in the car. Just remembering his face and the words that he used to say, because it wasn't some bullshit story. Like, it was like, this just happened, and it just blew my mind. And
it clearly meant so much to him. I mean, I can't think of a better place to leave it. We're not going to do better than that for finishing the show. That sounds amazing, and it sounds like seeing the impact that you made. But obviously not just a you thing, but a broader, the organization and everybody there, and what it means to the people, especially those people who actually are reflective of what you're doing, as opposed to the people who are just there to take and go. Yeah, that's amazing, man. That sounds wonderful. When I get down there, I'm positive you'll see me at event after event, but I would like to be the official representative to all hecklers and protesters. I would like that title.